The recording. Okay. Hold on. Okay, let's get started. I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted August, board member.
Deborah Richardson, Boards Administration.
Philip Motto, Boards Administration.
Jay Scurria, Department of License and Inspections.
Okay,
Donna Ray Lee, owner.
hold on, Donna. What I'm gonna do
sorry.
is first, each individual that's gonna testify today, I'm gonna swear you in individually. So Donna, we'll start with you. If you're gonna testify, please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay, next, Brett, if you're gonna testify, please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Please respond. Okay,
Yes.
Scott. Oh, you're Scott? Okay,
Yes.
who's? Okay, all right, Scott, please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Fine, okay. Who else is gonna be testifying in this case? Is that it?
I will.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Mia?
Oh, Mia, okay, Mia, are you a lawyer?
No.
Okay.
She works with me. We're the permanent expediters who submitted the application in this case.
Okay, if you're gonna be testifying, please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, Mia? Respond,
Yes.
okay, are you Brett?
I'm Brett.
Okay, Brett, please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, respond.
Yes.
Okay, Phil, put it into the record.
This is case number 1 on today's list. MI 2023-004-177 for the property located at 3329 through 33 East Thompson Street. The appellant was Eric Madsen. There is a Mr. Brett Madsen here in the room today.
Okay.
I'm the same, just so you know. My name is Eric Brett Madsen. I go by Brett. Blame my parents. I'm sorry about that.
Not at all, sir. Mr. Madsen is here in the room and ready today.
Okay, whoever's gonna do the, present the case, go ahead.
I guess that's me.
Okay,
So,
Mr. Chairman, I believe I need to identify myself for record.
oh, sure, go ahead.
Walt Krasnowski, Plumbing Advisory Board. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead. Go,
Wait, do you
Brett.
need to swear him in? No. Hillary?
Yeah, we'll swear him in, heck, it doesn't hurt.
Okay.
Please please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Go ahead, Brett.
all right. So this, the reason Walt's here is that this is an appeal of the Plumbing Advisory Board's decision. So we are appealing that decision, hoping to get BBS approval for a site permit for a construction to rectify some violations. So at issue here, the violations are for additions without permits. The construction plans have been approved on the L&I side, but there's a holdup because there is a downspout at the roof of one of these small garage/storage buildings that discharges directly into the yard, into the gravel and grassed area in the yard. And so that is essentially it for these purposes.
Brett, on the application here, the appeals variance, it says equally good or better construction is proposed. Can you tell me what that would be?
I think it was the closest thing that I could think of to the the categories that we had. We're just trying to keep something there that already exists. Because it already exists, I wasn't sure exactly how to categorize it, so maybe that's not the best box to check, but that's what I chose.
Okay.
But wasn't there a second story addition that also now feeds this stream? Or this downspout?
Yeah, yes. So
There's now
there's
multiple roofs that are all feeding this one downspout.
yes, there's a roof. There's multiple roofs, although they're only the width of the lot, so it's not like an unusually wide lot or anything. It's not unusual roof acreage. There's one slanted roof that falls onto another slanted roof, and at the back of the second slanted roof is the downspout.
Is that 3 roofs or 2 roofs?
2.
2? And, the requirement is to tie them into a drain?
Yes, that's correct. That's what we're seeking relief from. Again, it's because we're trying to legalize something that's been created already. So we thought that this would be an easier path than creating drainage for these two garages. There are no dwelling units in there. There's no toilets. There's no plumbing. It's just for stormwater, and the whole back of the yard is grassy and gravel. So that's why we decided to go this route.
So
Is
storage is
that back-
inside the buildings, not outside the buildings at all.
Sorry, say again, Amy?
Storage is inside the buildings, not outside the buildings.
Yes, yes. There are, it's basically a 2-car garage, sort of split up, one door for each car. And above that is another floor that's just storage space.
So nobody's living in the second floor or anything? It's
No.
no
No.
residential?
No.
No, and right now there's only one ladder and some scaffolding in there.
So you're looking to get a permit for this building, so you need a variance in order to get a permit to do what you have to do?
Yes, the building examiner approved everything, but was not able to approve the downspout. He said he would need PAB approval, or failing that, BVS approval.
When that drains, does that drain only on your property, or does it drain on someone else's?
Sorry, Donna, you're on mute.
Sorry about that.
Oh.
Yeah, it drains onto onto our property, into the yard,
Mhm.
which is grass and gravel.
Okay. All right. Does anyone else have any other questions? Aim, I think we should caucus.
Yeah, fine.
Okay,
Can I
Alright.
make a suggestion, this is Hillary? Could we just have, Walt put on the record, to the extent, he feels appropriate, the reasons for the plumbing advisory board denial of or recommendation of denial for the
Okay.
for the variance.
sure.
Thank you.
Walt, if you want to say a few words, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, these folks were kind enough to be in front of the Plumbing Advisory Board earlier this month. And it was the board's opinion that because of the added load coming from the adjacent properties, that it would be too much of an influx of water, given the fact that Miss Ray said that it's grass and gravel. Gravel does not leach at the same rate that grass or earth does. So the board had a concern that there would be too much of an influx of water, especially in the winter months, that could potentially permeate into the adjacent properties and cause degradation to them properties.
Anyone else have anything?
I'm just curious, if you were just building storage and you had all that front yardage, why would you create storage that you have to carry things upstairs? Why wouldn't you have just built out onto that front yard? You wouldn't
Because the
need it-
footprint was already there. There was already a 2-story garage on the end when we bought it.
Mhm.
And the addition was on the garage that already existed next to it. They already existed.
It's the same amount of square footage too. We didn't expand the footprint
Yeah.
of the building at all.
Just doesn't make sense. If I'm gonna create storage, why I make it upstairs and not on grade?
Well, we're not even using it.
It's
Like
not
I
being
said,
used,
it's just, that's kind of how we bought it, and we bought it with the house next door. And that's, that was the property for the last, I guess, 100 years or whatever, since it was built.
You
I-
bought
you
it
know.
to make more storage that you're not using. I'm
Well,
just trying to understand it. It doesn't make sense. And the
Uh,
fact that you added.
if I can say, Stuart,
You
when the
added a
COVID started,
non-conforming condition, and now you don't want to do the right thing. You don't want to connect that downspout. You doubled the amount of water in it,
It's not
And now you
double.
don't want
Not
to connect this to
double,
the
it's the
public.
same amount.
It's the same
No,
amount. of
you
square-
added a second floor roof that now dumps.
Yeah, but but hold on, there was a first floor roof there to begin with, so it's the same square footage. It just went up a story. I don't understand how you're saying it's gonna expand. It's not expanded.
I'm
So
looking on-
Amy, when I
I'm
was talking
looking on
about the,
Google, and I just. I see what appears to be two newer. Second floor additions that now dump onto this one floor, one.
No, it's just
the
one.
old-
can you share your screen, Amy, so that we can point out which one's the addition and which one was existing previously?
Sure, go ahead.
I'm on Webb Street.
The footprint was not expanded.
Yeah, so
The brown structure there, that was existing. The one to the right with the two windows, that was the one that got raised. That's the one we're having the issue with, the one that my dad did without permits, and then we're trying to rectify this so we can,
And was
Get
the
our-
one to the right of that already done?
no, to the left. There you go, that one there. The one with the single window was the existing two-story garage.
Which is the one with the downspout that you're now dumping water from the new addition onto. That's why I'm saying you double the area of water that goes into that downspout.
Yeah, but originally it was the one in the middle was a single story, so that water was being dumped directly onto the grass too. So it's still the same amount of square footage. Is it just because it's being redirected?
It's just, you had a non-conforming thing and now you're pouring twice as much water into the same spot. That's gonna become a big hole in the ground.
just one other thing on this, Amy. So the structure to the right, as we're looking at it, yeah, with that one garage door, there's another garage door to the left, right. That there's actually a property line through the middle of those currently. And the far right garage door, the second floor roof above the far right garage door, does not tilt the same direction. So that drains separately, and there are already permits for that one. We're just trying to get where your cursor is now, that section with those two windows, yep, right there.
Right.
That does drain off of the top of that onto the existing roof and then to the downspout.
Do you have any pictures of the upstairs?
We have the plans. I don't have any interior pictures.
Can you share the plans?
Yeah. One moment. I had it open already, and then my SharePoint died on me, so apologies. Yeah, do you already have it open? If you can share, then you can go ahead and do that as well. If you can beat me to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get pictures if you need them. I can get them tomorrow. It's not a problem.
Hey, do you think that there's
Okay,
gonna
I
be
think I went here.
residential there?
I'm just trying to understand it and want to see what the plans show at least.
I've got it if you don't. Yeah. Okay, so this is the sheet that was submitted for this one. So this is the. I'm not sure. Oh, hang on. Can you see it now?
There we go.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that. So this is maybe not the best view. Let me pull up so we can see the. These are the elevations that we have here. So what I was talking about was this area that I'm scrolling over is separate. That's not in scope.
Okay.
It's now part of another property. This is the area that is in scope. So there's the deeper slant on the existing roof. This is the new roof here.
Okay.
So we don't have much in the way of a plan. There's pretty much the windows that you saw from the outside. Let me zoom in on this. So the stairs come up from the first floor. This is Webb Street out here where my cursor is. That's the neighboring section. It's now a different property. So it's just these two structures. There's a room up top. There's no plumbing. There's no kitchen. It's just a storage room above and over here. The first floor garage with the parking spaces here and here.
Okay, thank you for sharing that.
All
Sure.
right, good. All right, put us in a breakout room. Okay. Everybody back, Amy? Amy back yet?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
I see Amy, I see Ted, Walt. Everybody's here.
Okay, our decision of the board is that we feel that the code was properly presented to you, and that we're not here to change the plumbing code. That's not our job here. And looking at that, we feel that the code should apply, and we don't want to set a precedence by giving variances for something that we feel that when the Plumbing Advisory Board made their decision, that that decision was because of the code. We can't see giving a variance because the code was not adhered to. So we're going to deny the request, and whatever you guys have the opportunity to go to the Court of Common Pleas. We're not going to be setting precedents by changing codes. So yes, go ahead.
So Jake from Aqua Economics, he says he's encountered this multiple times, and he presented the utility commission with the answer they were looking for, and he said he's never had a problem with this being declined. Now all of a sudden with us it's being declined. I don't quite understand that.
Do you mean it was declined by this board?
Well, by the plumbing board.
Well, okay, and then the thing is they declined that, and then it came to us. Our job is not to change codes, okay? And we feel that the decision of the Plumbing Advisory Board was the correct decision. So we're not going to start setting precedents because you can't get something from one board and you come to the other board, and that's our board. And then the thing is that we're not going to be in here changing codes. So you do have an alternative, and your alternative is to go to the Court of Common Pleas.
Is there anybody here from the Plumbing Advisory Board?
Yes.
So Walt, I mean, why was it denied? Jake from Aqua said he's had that issue many a times, and he just did whatever he had to do with the plan or with comments or something like that, and it was all okay. Now, for some reason with us, I mean, why are we having, it seems like you guys are like taking a vengeance out on us.
I'm not sure who Jake from Aqua is, but I can guarantee you since 2017, no cases have come before the Plumbing Advisory Board of this nature.
I mean, we're just trying to become compliant here so we can sell the properties, you know what I mean? So I understand what we did initially wasn't right, you know what I mean? But
The only way to become compliant is to make the connection that should have been made in the first place.
Have been made in the first, it's an existing, it's existing.
If a permit had been pulled or applied for when the addition was done, this would have come out then. You would have gotten the denial, you would have appealed it then, and you would have gotten the same answer you're getting today.
Okay, but the same question didn't come up with 3335 Thompson Street.
We're hearing your case. We can only.
That was our case. That was our case.
Let's not bring any other cases into this.
That's not what's before us today.
Yeah, this was sorry, I'm just reiterating what the board said. Like, I'm the applicant. I was hoping that we could get approval this way as well. I am disappointed, but unless you go to the Court of Common Pleas, we've already been denied now. So the only option is Court of Common Pleas or to make the connection.
Are we going to get a plumbing permit for making the connection?
Yeah, we're going to have to get a plumbing permit to do that. Yes.
Okay, I appreciate your time.
Can't hear you.
Can we sell this property without doing that? Anyone?
Person, I don't,
You just have to make whoever you advise
Make
it,
them
make
aware
sure
of
they
it.
understand that there's a violation against it.
Right.
I'm sure it would have to be disclosed, first of all. Second of all,
Right, and we would disclose that because somebody's gonna come in there and probably build
Right,
houses.
they're gonna build houses.
That's what we want to do.
man, we can't hear.
You can't hear me?
No,
Now
now
we
we can, now we can.
Oh, okay. So we want to sell the property and a builder's probably going to come in there and do whatever they're going to do and then become, you know, they'll do the drainage the way that you want it. But so that's my question is, because can we sell the building as long as we, or the property as long as we disclose the violation?
You can sell a property with a violation.
Okay,
Mhm. Yeah.
all right.
As long as the parties agree, because I have seen sales held up or not gone through because of existing violations or violations needing to be marked complied before the sale can go through.
But they can sell the property as long as there's an agreement, sure.
Yeah, no, they can, but it can cause a problem.
Right,
Okay,
okay.
okay. All right, thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you for your time.
Yep. Okay. Who's here for Chester Avenue?
Elwood Van Skyford.
Okay, Elwood, and who, is anybody else with you that's gonna be testifying?
No.
Okay, just you. All right, we'll get started. I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted August, board member.
Deborah Richardson, Boards Administration.
Philip Motto, Boards Administration.
Jay Scaria, Department of License and Inspections.
Thomas Rabikowski, City of Philadelphia, License and Inspections.
Okay, I'm gonna swear in the people that are testifying here. Tom, raise your right hand, swear to tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay, Elwood, please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay, Phil, put that into the record.
Yes, sir. This is case number 2 on today's list. MI 2022-000253 for the property located at 4614 through 16 Chester Avenue. The appellant is Elwood Van Skyver. He's present in the room.
Good. Tom, could you start us out with a little bit about the case?
So this goes back
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, could we have Mr. Skyver turn on his video so that we can see him?
Mr. Skyver, could you turn on your video?
Okay.
Okie dokie.
See my video.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Good. We see it. Looks good. All right, Tom, tell us a little bit about this case.
So as a matter of record, so this actually is a continuance. The original hearing was heard December 14th of 2022, where it was continued for the department to reach out to the city's streets survey unit in response to this being a case issued against the property for a unsafe detached garage in the rear of 4614 Chester Avenue. There was a little bit of a debate between the property line and that this wall sat and was the responsibility of 4623 Regent Street. I am actually in the possession, and I included it in my packet for today, that the department received communications from a Lee Geisler, who is a survey and regulator for the City of Philadelphia 7th Survey District over on 6448 Woodland Avenue. And the body of the email, basically, he included a plot plan or a plan of the development. And in reviewing that plot plan, the surveyor has responded that no survey is required. The attached plan, which shows the building, clearly shows that the structure, the garage, is on the property known as 4614 Chester Avenue, with the owner of record being the appellant's who are today. And the document ID number 45022-827. And that document was dated February 19th of 1991. And the last sentence is, the garage is not upon the property known as 4623 Regent Street. And in speaking with Mr. Skyver about an hour, maybe an hour and a half ago, I made reference that this is this was done by the survey unit. I'd be willing to, and I'm going to propose to the board that we give the appellant 60 days to make the necessary repairs to this property by way of a make-safe permit. How he accesses this part of the building, that's a civil matter between property owner and property owner, but nonetheless, the repairs are required. With that, I'll rest.
Okay, fine. Mr. Elwood, could you tell us your portion of the story?
Yes, well, I have no doubt that the garage is on our property. The problem is that the wall is a party wall. It's clearly shown as such in the description of the 4623 deed, which I can kind of upload. I sent it in on the first hearing, and the deed describes the property line as traveling through the wall. So I never took exception to the fact that the garage is ours. I just took exception to the fact that there used to be, before Regent Street was developed, there used to be another building there that the garage shared a wall with, which was demolished as part of the Regent, now called Circle development that is in place there. So, it's an odd, circumstance with a wall that, used to be a party wall for another structure, is no longer there, but that's still how the property line goes. When I had a discussion earlier with Tom, I said, well, they didn't do a survey. They just gave an opinion after examining the plan. He said, so frankly, I couldn't take that, for instance, to the city, that opinion, my presumption is, and ask for a deed of correction so that, I can have the deed for 4623 corrected so that it says that they do not have a property line that runs through the wall. So, in my mind, the opinion doesn't kind of indicate what we said we were going to do back in the last time we had the hearing, where they were going to do, a definitive look at the property line.
What would they have to do to make sure that that property line no longer is what, 24D or whatever, and then it's just that it's Elwood's, right? The whole thing. What happens there? What does he need to do to get that? I guess saying from the city that structure is his and his alone, not someone else's.
So, in sending it over to the survey unit for the streets department, the survey unit responded that a survey was not required, and that they could plainly see in the development plot that the structure is the responsibility of the property at 4614 Chester Avenue. If Mr. Skyver disagrees with that, then he would have to provide a survey that says, hey, this isn't mine, and that he wouldn't be held responsible for it. And then if the survey came back and said, yeah, you are responsible for it, then the deed would have to be corrected through the Office of Records and the plot line, or the deed reflecting the changes required in that survey. But that's not for the determination of the board. The board is to say whether or not the violation is accurate, and see when the repair and possibly grant for a variance to see when an extension of time to see when the repair would be required to be done.
So, Elwood, are your concern is that they're they didn't do a survey, so they're saying that this still could be 24D or whatever, not your property. Is that the issue?
Well, yeah, I mean, as I said, can I upload the deed to Regent Street so we can see
Yeah,
it?
sure, absolutely.
Is there a way I can do that?
You can share
You
screen.
can share.
Let me see how I do that.
On the bottom of the Zoom, there's a big green button that says share screen.
Oh, okay, all right, I'm gonna share screen and I'm gonna open this document here. Now, can you see? Hold on, there we go.
Take your time.
I can't move this. You know what? I've got two monitors and I can't seem to move. Can you see what I have in front of my other monitor?
No,
No.
When you hit share screen, doesn't it give you a couple options of what to share? And then you can click on one of them.
You see. Oh, I see. Okay, screen one. Here we go. Can you see it now?
no.
When you see screen one, just double click on it.
There you
There
go.
you go, it's coming up now.
Okay.
All
See,
right, good. There you go. Okay, we
See?
got it.
see, that's it. That, you know, I can also show you an atlas of the the Philadelphia City Atlas showing that there's a wall that's 30 feet long that's shared. And this is the official deed, as you can see up here, that the city recorded back in 2016 after the city created this development of Regent Circle back there. And that's the description of the property. And it says that 30-foot wall, that property line runs through a wall, 30 feet. So that's part of the deal here. Now I have let me see, I have here see on dimension map. Okay, here's the dimension city map. Can you see this?
Yes,
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll see. This is the blue thing, of course, is the 4614 and that little lot next to it. It's actually composed of 3 lots. But that's the party wall that's the 30-foot wall that's shared between the two properties that's shown right there on the city atlas. So like I said, I never disputed the fact that, of course, we own the garage. The garage is sitting there right where that 0167 is. I never disputed that. But if you look at the deed for this region parcel, which is this parcel here, it shows that their property line runs right through a wall for a building that used to be there that they knocked down when they did the whole Regent Circle development there. So that's my contention.
Tom, what needs to be done to correct that, to say that party line from the building was knocked down is no longer in existence? It's, I'm sure that Mr. Scriber would want to, take care of whatever he has to take care of if it's all his. Not somebody come in later and say, hey, that portion's mine.
Can I just ask ask a clarifying question? Because Mr. Sharper, you said there's a party wall there that was there because there was a building attached to it, but then there's your garage. Is your
Right.
garage attached to that party wall, or is it separate? Does it have its own back wall?
Well, it is attached, yes.
How thick
Okay,
is that
so-
wall? Is it 1 8-inch thick wall?
No, it's all brick. It's all brick. I believe it's a 12-inch, thick, 3-wide wall.
Pretty wide, okay.
But does the garage not have a back on it because the back is the wall? Or does the garage have its own wall on it?
It's
No,
really the
it
side
was-
wall that we're talking
It was a
about.
shared,
That wall?
it was a shared wall.
Okay.
Tom, can you share the pictures again?
Me, I'm sorry,
Well, I'm asking if Tom Rabakowski, or whoever has pictures of that sidewall, if somebody could share them, that would be helpful.
If,
I have photos of it too. Hold on, I'll get them. Well, I can tell you this, this is the, I can tell you kind of like the story of this thing here. This is the north wall of the Region property, and the gal who.
All we can see is your file folder. We can't see a picture.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Can you
You
see
might have
that?
to stop share. Yes, now we can.
Okay,
Okay, this is the north wall of the Region property, and this was the wall that the owner of Region called L&I about because of, you can see the condition of the wall. What was happening here was there's a large development. I don't believe that wall's there anymore. I think it's been removed. But there's a large development that was occurring over. Can you see my mouse pointer when I look at that?
yes,
There's a big new structure that was built over here, and the gal that lives there called L&I because of this wall, and she was worried about it collapsing. So that was the nature of her call for that. This is, well, that's a close-up. I don't think we want to see that. This is the east wall that's shared with my garage. This is the wall that was issued the violation to me for. And the gal told me that when she called L&I, the guy took a look at this wall and said, well, I'm going to issue a violation for this. And she said, well, I don't think that's a problem, but he did it anyway. Okay. So literally there's one brick missing there. And of course the pargeting is a little light, you know, it kind of come off a little bit, but that's the share wall. Behind that wall is my garage. Okay. But you can see these other walls, I presume, I don't know, on the north side are probably shared walls with the Region property as well. Although that's with 4618 Chester Avenue. That's not my.
that wall right there. Tom, you want that fixed? Is that what you're saying?
yes,
Okay, now if I'm sure he'll fix it if it's his. Not a shared wall with anyone else, just his wall. How do we do that?
that would be, the city's survey unit looked at the plot plan, looked at the drawing and determined that no survey was required, that it was illustrated on the survey or on the plan. And that the responsibility falls on 14 Chester Avenue.
Okay,
So if Mr. Skyver disagrees with that, he would have to provide a survey saying that the wall is not his from a registered surveyor saying the wall's not his. The property is a true party wall, and you know, I'm basically positioning to the board that we give them 60 days. I'd be willing to push to 90 for them to provide that survey, or get the permit for the repair.
so, okay, if the survey, does the survey cost money?
Yes,
Okay, what is it expensive to do?
I know that the city streets department charges approximately $300 for a survey by their surveyors. They are approximately 6 months behind, or the last time that they've did a private survey. We can always, the owner can reach out to the survey unit directly and ask them to come do a survey. Maybe they would come out and do an expedited one for a fee. I do not know, as we're not streets department, or they can employ the services of a surveyor.
Is this, if you were, willing to go and do the repairs, will the neighbor provide access to do that, or is that an issue at all?
I don't think that's an issue. I don't have a bad relationship with my neighbor there. I received I believe in February, I received another, notice of the violation continuing from L&I. And I wrote back and I said, look, there's a pending survey I thought there was going to be a survey done, not just a review of a plan and somebody offering an opinion, based on our last hearing. And I advised L&I in a letter, I said, I brought the guy who wrote me the letter up to speed about our prior hearing, and said that if you have knowledge now, and that's the result of why I'm getting this letter, because the survey showed conclusively that it's my wall, please let me know. And if that's the case, I'd like to get the deed corrected and I'll go out and repair the wall. But I never received a response to that. So, I guess when we had the last hearing, I thought a survey was going to be done, which would definitively say that the wall's either mine or not. And that's not, from now I have an opinion that says, well, now you got to go out and prove that the title's wrong and you really do own the wall.
I can't order another unit to go out and do a survey if they've looked at the plan. And I mean, I have the email, like I said, I placed it in the packet. It clearly reads at the bottom that no survey is required.
But at the same time, I couldn't take that opinion to whatever the document authority is that has the title and get the title corrected, right? I'd have to go out and get a survey done.
Correct. It would have to be a stamp survey that would change a deed.
And you've spoken to this neighbor, I mean, if there really is literally just one brick missing, have you discussed sharing the cost? I mean, he's got to look at it. And it's the wall of your garage, even though the property line is in question.
Well, frankly, the neighbor doesn't think that her title is accurate. It's a lady. She thought of it that, because she had put a fence up there for some reason. You can see the little stick. She might still have a fence there. I don't know, but she didn't believe that her title said the title line ran through the wall. And I said, it's okay. Like I said, it's just one of these kind of a conundrum things. I really thought that at our last hearing, we were going to get a survey that would definitively say the wall was mine or not. And now I have an opinion that says, I'm back to square one, but the city's still demanding that I repair the wall that her title says is not mine. So,
Another option to consider is to agree with the neighbor to have the work done for you to incur the cost, with the understanding that if it's, if you can definitively prove that it's a shared wall, that she will pay her half. I mean, I'll leave that to you.
Well, as I mentioned, she wasn't concerned about the wall at all, She was concerned about the north wall because of all the construction that was going on the other side. And the inspector deemed this an appropriate time to take action for this wall. So,
yeah.
Would it be worth looking at her deed? I mean, I know it can be accessed online.
What's that, Aim?
Can't hear
Would
you.
it be worth looking at her deed?
At what?
Her deed.
Would it be worth looking at her deed?
I just showed her deed.
That's a deed that was shown, the Regent Street one. I'm looking actually at the other deed but I think, when you purchased these properties, Mr. Shriver, were they separate and then you consolidated them?
No, they were consolidated a long time. I mean, the property's been in my family for a long time, but Regent Street historically used to be a service street for Chester Avenue going way back. There used to be stables back there and stuff like that. So it was just kind of an alley, and then And then that was all changed around with this region circle development thing. So my deed does not show, it just shows, lot lines. And then it was.
Right,
it
I'm
was-
just trying to make sure I'm looking at the correct deed, because nothing is coming up under 4616, but only 4614 is coming up. I just make sure, but it looks like there's multiple premises,
Right.
so I just want to make sure it's the correct deed.
Yeah, that is the correct deed. There's three parcels, or as they refer in the deed as premises, that comprise 4614/16.
So the city says he has to do this, and he don't know if he even owns the wall. Or and if the city's saying he has to do this, the city say, look, he has to do this, but we gotta tell him that it's his wall or not. That's what gets me. They want him to go do the survey. Well, if you're saying something isn't his, or is his, then the city should be able to prove that. And the only way to prove it is by having someone come out and to survey it. But why should he have to pay to survey it?
It's the same assertion. If we declare something unsafe, then, and they would have to provide an engineer's report stating that it would be to the contrary.
Tom, quick question. Did the survey unit, did they say if they reviewed the deeds, or I know they have all kinds of like plans and stuff from when things were built, but did they actually look at the language in the deeds for this case?
I don't know.
Okay.
All I know is that I have the communications from the survey unit from Mr. Geisler stating that no survey was required, and that they looked at the plan.
Okay.
If they looked at the plan, are they saying that that's his wall?
The communication or the email said that the structure was the responsibility of 4614 Chester.
Can they give him some type of a letter or something saying that's his wall?
They said no survey was required, and they just sent an email back to me.
Can we pull up, and I don't know if Amy's available because she's really good at doing this. Can we pull up the Atlas overhead view of this garage
I already have it up.
and the wall? Thank you, Amy. We just need, I think, Mr. Shiver to unshare his screen.
Okay.
At the top, it should, there you go.
Yeah.
So there's the garage, I believe, right?
Right.
Can you switch it to the I don't know, topography view or whatever it's called, so you can like see the top right view? No, just because it looks, if you look at it
Not
from
Google?
not in Google, back in Atlas, because it looks like the wall is a separate structure from the garage. If you look at it, looking at that part, yeah.
It appears to be in line with this property, but I can't tell because this is one story and this is multi-story, I believe.
Yeah, that's a 48 unit apartment building there on that side. 4618.
So this may be so does it drop down? So that is a retaining wall essentially on the front part there?
This wall?
Yeah.
No, that again is just a relic of the building that used to be there that was demolished to create the region circle developments that's there now.
If the city removed
When was
that
that
back wall,
development
what would be there?
created?
Tom, if the city removed that wall that's in question, what would be there? Would be opening into his garage?
If it was a.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
the,
okay,
if
but
the city
we're saying,
removed,
hey, did you say that you think it's detached or Hillary?
So it looks like that, so the garage is right up against that wall, but they look like to me, it looks like they're two separate structures
I'm looking
that are
at a
adjacent
sat-
to each other.
I'm looking at a satellite view that goes back to 1996 on Atlas, and the Regent properties look the same. There's a looks like the garage and the semblance of that's there. My question is, when was the development done?
Well, the region deed, let me look at the deed, see.
That's the new deed, but the new deed was recorded in 2015.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Right, well, the
But there
development.
was another, there was
Yeah.
another deed recording the property to the previous owner, back in 1977.
Yeah, that seems to ring a bell, that would be the appropriate time that might have been when it was created.
So this little part of the garage is really the only part that is 4614. The rest of it is 4616, correct?
Well, no, actually, it's the other way around, but the official address for us, the US mail address is 4614 Chester Avenue.
This is showing us 4614. I don't know what this is, why it's showing up as something separate.
Yeah, well, there's three, as you mentioned earlier, someone mentioned earlier, the 4614/16 lot is composed of the three different parcels.
So that
little
that-
odd one the little odd one that sticks out to the west there. And then there's a long strip that's actually kind of the driveway.
right.
And then the long strip that includes the house and the kind of parking spot in the back there, the parking area.
I don't know how accurate any of these lines are, but that makes it look like it's.
But our structure uses that wall for support, so. I mean, given that we can kind of see that the imminent collapse thing maybe really isn't as imminent as it was purported to be. Is it possible we could just get the survey team to do a survey and say that the wall's either mine or not? And if it's mine, I'll fix it. And I'll get the deed correct.
Is that, you
I
can,
don't
Tom,
have,
you can't tell
I
another
requested
department
a
what to
survey.
do?
I can't order another city department to go out and do a survey.
No, but Tom, you can give time, or we can give time until that survey can be done. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and if we feel that the situation is not dire and we're willing to wait. I'm dealing with the 7th district independently. They have their hands full and it will take some time. But if we're comfortable with that, are we willing to, Tom, is it best to say 90 days and then see where we are in 90 days or,
yeah, I mean, if you're asking to continue it again for 90, that, I mean, it's what the board is deciding.
With that, who would make the arrangements for the survey to come out with the other department? Would it be Mr. Van Sciver?
Yes.
Okay, and then could we give, then like, Ted said, we'll give them that time until they can come out to make the survey. If it's not in imminent danger of falling down.
I mean, we don't have it declared as eminently dangerous. We have
Okay.
it, we have it
Alright.
declared as unsafe.
Fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Then why don't we do that? Why don't, Mr. Van Sciver, if you can make arrangements to have what's that, the street department, Tom?
It would be the 7th survey district of the streets department.
Okay, 7th survey district, come out and do a survey to say if it's your wall or not.
Okay, and
And if it's your wall, then you fix it, and if it's not, then, come back and see what we can do.
okay, and let me ask now, I mean, someone mentioned earlier in our conversations here that sometimes, I guess, the 7th survey district can take longer than 90 days to get a survey done.
it can, but let's be optimistic and let's call it 90 days and talk to them right away and, get in touch with Tom, I guess, if they tell you, look, we're gonna do this, but it's gonna be in the spring of
6 months.
I know that the gentleman I spoke to is Lee Geisler. You can call him directly.
Okay, and just so I understand, I'll pay the $300 or whatever, but if I get that, and if they do in fact say that wall is mine, would I then be able to take that survey to get the title updated from the other property and my title? So that would be a document that's what I would need to get the title updated, right?
I would say present that document to the Office of Records. You might have to employ the services of a real estate attorney to rewrite the deed. I'm not an attorney, but most likely that's what would probably have to happen.
You would need to have, yes, you would need to file a deed of correction. You don't necessarily need to have it done with an attorney, but I would highly recommend that.
Okay. All righty. Well,
Okay,
And then if we need to continue this, I don't think we should have to bring Mr. Van Sciver back. Can he let Mr. Rabakowski know that survey is scheduled for January or whatever?
sure, absolutely. I do have Mr. Rabakowski's contact information. We've talked, and I will do that.
okay? Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Good day.
Thank you.
All right now.
Wayne, we have the appellants for the next case in the waiting room. Do you want to bring them in right away or do we want to pause?
Bring them in.
I'm ready to go.
You ready, Aim?
Yes.
Ed?
We're
Bring 'em
bringing
in.
them in right now.
Okay, that's Cumberland Street.
Is that other person in there or is that the only person that's in there?
Cumberland was the only one right now.
Okay, I guess that other one.
Cumberland's up.
Caller for
Oop.
2825 Cumberland, are you connected?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Does your camera work?
Yeah, let me try to figure this out. I'm sorry,
Thank you.
guys. I'm on my cell phone, so
Okay.
There you go. We see you,
all
sir.
right.
Okay, what's your first name, buddy?
Renard, Renard.
Okay, Bernard, no problem. Okay, we're gonna start the case. I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ed Hodges, board member.
Deborah Richardson, Boards Administration.
Philip Motto, Boards Administration.
Jay Scaria, Department of License and Inspections.
Thomas Rybakowski, City of Philadelphia, License and Inspection.
Okay, all right, who's gonna be testifying in this case? Number one, Tom, could you please raise your right hand? Swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, Bernard, I'm sorry. Could you please
Yeah.
raise your right hand and swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, Phil, put that into the record, please.
Yes, so this is case number 3 on today's list, MI 2022-000960 for the property located at 2825 West Cumberland Street. The appellants are Ruth Diggings and Bilal King. We have a Mr. Renard in the room today, but I don't know his last name.
King, King.
Thank you, sir. We have
All
Mr.
right.
King in the room.
Okay, fine. Tom, can you start us out a little bit about this case?
Yeah, so just as a matter of, for clarification of the record, Mr. King, how are you associated with the property?
Ruth is my grandmother's, but she's deceased.
Okay, so the property's still still in the name of your grandmother's, the property is still in the name of your grandmother. Is, your mom still, forgive me, still with us?
My father, she's my paternal grandmother. The property was deeded over. It was deeded over. I just never registered the deed, but she's since been deceased. She's been deceased for the last few years now.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to make sure that you have the established connection to the property. Okay, so that being said, the property was declared as unsafe due to fracturing at the front wall. The appellant or the filing that brings us to today's hearing, the information or the additional information was house next door damages caused issues for my property. I show in the city's records that a demolition of the property next door at 2825 occurred somewhere in between 2004 to 2008. There's evidence, and I have in the packet, there's photographs of the front of the property. There's significant fracturing of the front wall. What we're asking for is a make safe permit to be obtained within the next 60 days. With that, I'll share my screen and then we can take it from there. Can everybody see my screen?
Not yet.
No.
There we go.
Okay. So I'll just cut to the chase, go right to the photo.
Can you flip that?
Yeah. They updated the Adobe and makes it more difficult to actually rotate the photos.
You can see it pretty well on Google.
Tom, if you go back to that PDF on the lower on the right hand side, on the lower right hand side, you see where the magnifying glass is. It's the fourth one from the bottom.
Got it. They always helps to have another pair of eyes.
Okay. All right, Tom.
So there's the front of the property. It's above the first story door going to the second story window. You can see that the brickwork has significant fracturing above that entryway. And that's what the notice is indicating. We would like a permit to be under review within the next 60 days.
Okay. Bernard, you want to tell us your side?
Basically, you guys got to forgive my ignorance. This is the first time I've been in this kind of situation. So the appeal was more so like a plea because I was just afraid of the property being demolished. I mean, since then, I've had a structural engineer come out. He looked at the property and he basically, in all honesty, he basically said the same thing that the city says. He said that the property's not in, and it's not liable to fall down, but the fracturing over that window does need to be addressed.
Do you have is 60 days good enough for you to get that done?
To be honest with you, probably not. Now, I've had the structural engineer come out. maybe over this last sometime in between January and now, and I can't remember. I've been trying to find somebody qualified to do the work. I don't know why. It's just seemed like the hardest thing in the world to find someone that's licensed, insured, and above all, reasonable in pricing.
So, Mr.
So-
King, you did, I'm sorry to cut you off. You did say that you had an engineer come out to the location?
Yes,
Did he did he or she prepare a report?
yes, he prepared the report. He did say that the house next door on I guess it would be the right if you're facing the property. He said that they had to address, they didn't stucco the side once they tore down the other house. But other than that, everything that basically the report said that the structure, like you said, that I should change that lintel under that window and that section of bricks, and that would be that's all that he required. I mean,
Okay. What's the date on that report?
I'd have to look at it. I don't even have it in front of me. I'm sorry, guys.
No, that's fine. When did they come out to the property?
It was after you guys gave me the make safe. It might have been it was a little while after you guys gave me the make safe. I want to say maybe 6 months after. It might have been less than that. It might even have been 3 months, but I know it wasn't right after, but it was after the make safe.
Yeah, I think somebody tried to apply for a permit, but then there was no completion in our system. Is that what you're referencing?
What's the date on it?
I'll tell you in a second. April of 2022.
Yeah, that might have been it.
Okay.
So maybe I didn't attach the make safe with it or something, but I have the report. I do have the report.
Okay, so like I said, I'm not looking for work to be completed. I'm looking for a permit to be under review within the next 60 days. That's my assertion to the board. They can render their decision, but with that, I'll rest.
Okay.
Also, Bernard, don't the city have a website of licensed contractors?
Yes. Mr. King could go to L&I's website, put find contractor, and it would list the contractors. But be fair warned, that list is very extensive, and it's changing every day in that licenses are obtained and expire. So by all means, do your research.
Okay, so quick question. Because somebody said that since I have the actual report that I could pull the permit myself.
Not for a structural repair, and this would be considered a structural repair. So it would have to be done by a contractor.
Gotcha.
Okay. Those 60 days is good?
I mean, if you guys could float me a little bit of time with that, I mean, I'm like I said, I can't argue with you guys finding because like I said, my structural engineer said the same thing, and I want to take care of it. I just need a little leeway to come up with the funds and find a qualified contractor that could pull the permits.
I'd be willing to give them 90 days.
Okay, we'll give you 90 days. How's that?
Okay, I'll do my best to get it done. Thanks,
Okay,
guys.
good job. All right, Bernard. Thanks, pal.
All right, thank
Good
you.
luck. Okay.
So Vine Street,
I'm sorry, do you want me to pause it again, Amy?
no, go ahead.
So we want to read into the record Vine Street. It's
Yes.
been complied with.
Yes, sir, I can read it in and then I'll read the case into the record and then Tom will make it. This is case number 4 on today's list, MI 2022-001-121 for the property located at 5527 Vine Street. The appellant is Ivy Marshall. There is no answer from Ivy Marshall and good service was made to her.
Okay, Vine Street, according to Tom Ripakowski, has been complied to, so there's no further work that the board has to do.
The case in the city's records was marked compliant on August 4th of this year.
August 4th of this year?
Yes, sir.
All right. Aim, and Ted, you're good with this, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. All right, then, Tom, Yocum Street.
You like me to read that into the record, sir?
Yeah, I want to see if they're not here, if we're scheduled for 1:45, right?
That's correct. Yes, sir. No one's here
Okay,
in the room.
Tom, do you have any information we should know about this?
I have.
Can we just read it into the, can we read it into the record first and then we can go to Tom?
Okay, Phil,
Thank
let's
you.
read it into the record.
Yes, sir. This is case number 5 on today's list. MI 2022-001-320 for the property located at 6116 Yocum Street, Y-O-C-U-M. The appellant is Henry Haynes. There's no answer from Mr. Haynes. He's not here in the room today, and good service was made.
Okay, Tom, do you have any other information before we make a decision?
So on this one, the appellant makes a assertion or reason for the appeal. I am in the process of getting the violation on the property resolved. There is a permit that was issued for the repair of the property. The permit was issued in February of 2023. So with a permit being issued, there's no action by the board.
Okay, good. All right, that takes care of that one.
Wayne's ready.
Is everybody in for all 3 cases?
Yes.
Is each address have a separate person here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 1224 South 7th Street. Is that Mark?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll get started. I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted Odds, board member.
Deborah Richardson, Boards Administration.
Philip Motto, Boards Administration.
Jay Scaria, Department of License and Inspections.
Thomas Rybakowski, City of Philadelphia, License and Inspections.
Okay.
I'm
Here's what
Mark.
We're gonna do. We're gonna swear people in. It's the individuals for this case. We'll start with you, Tom. Please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Fine. Mark, this is your building. Please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Absolutely, with documentation, sir.
Okay, good deal. All right, Phil, read it into the record.
Before us are now our cases 6, 7, and 8. Case 6 is MI 2022-006-187 for the property located at 1224 South 7th Street. The appellant is Mark Gambita. Case 7 is MI 2022-006-575 for the property located at 1226 South 7th Street. Marcela Garcia is the appellant. And case number 8, MI 2023-004-811 for the property 704 Latona Street, Latona. The appellant is Amy Freeman.
Okay, Marcella and Amy, I will swear you guys in. All right, I will start out with Marcella. Marcella, please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay, good. And now we're with Amy. Amy, please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay, good, Amy. All right, let's get,
Why, you should swear Mr. Gambita also.
I did, I already swore Mark in first.
Oh, all right.
Okay, and then we read all 3 cases together, so
Okay.
I had to make sure I swore everybody else in. Okay, Tom, tell us a little bit about 1224 South 7th.
So before I go, I just have one question for the 3 appellants. Is there active litigation between the property owners at 1224, at 1226 South 7th Street and 704 Latona with the property or the address at 706 Latona?
Not personally.
No.
Amy.
Not yet, perhaps with the insurance company of the company that did the excavation, pending their response to my claim.
Do you know when that, so Ms. Freeman, do you know when that decision will be made?
My lawyer gave them until yesterday to respond. I haven't heard from my lawyer yet about whether they have, what they've decided about the claim.
Okay.
If not, we're gonna file a complaint.
Okay, so for the property at 704 Latona, Ms. Freeman, you are not in the property, correct?
No, I'm in my house right now.
You're in it right now, okay. Okay, so with that said, so with, so a little bit of backstory on, in October of 2022, the department received a notification of some concern with the structures at 704 Latona Street and the other two properties at 1224 and 1226 South 7th Street. Upon investigation and an inspection, unsafe cases were declared on all three properties for unsafe conditions. 704 Latona has provided an engineer's report with a series of repair plans that are required. And for that property, that would require a make safe permit to be rendered for the repair of that property. 1224 South 7th Street, that had already been declared as unsafe as well. That would require repairs done to the exterior of the property at 1224 South 7th Street. And then for 1226 South 7th Street, the owner provided an engineer's report to the department in October of 2022, October 26th of 22 to be specific. That engineer's report is part of the packet that has been provided with the board. That report did spell out repair work that needed to be done to the exterior walls, but did deem the property safe. So the unsafe violation has been marked complied in the system as far as 1226 South 7th Street, but the violation for the exterior walls is still active. We are asking for the repair of that property to be ascertained. As far as time frame, the department is looking for depending upon the litigation, but we would be willing to push it out for a permit for the repair of the properties within 90 days.
And Tom, for the property at 1226 South 7th Street, Marcelo Garcia, that's the 90 days?
All three.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. I'm sorry, go ahead, Tom.
No, so that's what we would be looking for. We would be looking for a permit for 1224 South 7th Street for the repair of the property within 90 days. As the violation for the exterior walls for 1226 South 7th Street, that's the only violation that's current. We would be asking for the repair work to be done for that and for them to coordinate the inspection with the area inspector again within 90 days. And then 704 Latona, we would be asking for a permit to be under review for 704 Latona within 90 days as well.
Okay, let's take these one at a time. Mark, could you explain your house there, your building that you're representing?
Yes, sir. I'd be glad to. And thank you all for your time. I've actually been waiting about 10 months for this hearing, so I'm very excited to be in front of all of you.
They say that's pretty quick for the city. I'm only kidding.
Yeah,
you.
well, that's interesting to know. So I've got a kind of a series of grievances, complaints, and multiple documentation pulled up on my computer, ready to screen share any of which you might ask for questions on. We called the city 3 different times to inspect illegal digging. And I actually have an email here that I'm looking at from the chief engineer on the project that says, we weren't there for 6 months, where Elle and I filed reports over and over and over that everything was good, they were in order, and there was an engineer there on site approving the work. On top of that, we filed 2 complaints previously on 8/27 and 10/7 before any of the damage occurred. And Elle and I came out and said, that looks like just 9 feet to me, which is funny because another one of 7 engineers who came out after on our behalf stuck a tape measure down and it measured 20 feet. All right, so we have pictures, we have documentation, we have evidence of all of this. We've been in contact with Mark Squilla's office, with State Senator Nikhil Saval's office, and everybody keeps pointing fingers at us for allowing a company to dig under our houses, which caused massive damages. I'm talking about close to the $750,000 to $1 million range. I'm a financial advisor, by the way, so I'm pretty good at this. We have reached out over and over on our behalf. I can also show you an email that I have right here up in front of me.
So
where I have,
before, I'm sorry, Mr. Gambino, so Gambetta, I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. but
Gambetta, yeah.
I'm going to object as to relevance because that's not what the board is here for. The board's not here to ascertain cause and effect. The board is to say whether or not the repairs are required to satisfy that. And that's the grant time frame to ascertain to get the repairs.
As you object,
The cause of the damage is a civil matter, and that's why at the beginning of this I asked if there was pending litigation between you and the contractors for that site.
yes, and as I was about to get to my next point, I have an email thread where I emailed you and Anthony DiSabato 8 different times, and neither of you or any of you ever responded. I also have text messages where he asked me to text him over and over, of me just sending him messages and him never calling me back. What do you want from us? Someone came in and civilly destroyed our houses.
As I just ascertained to the board, the department is asking for the repair of the property. How you recoup that monetarily is not for the department's.
Okay, well, I filed a suit with the city to open up my right to sue L&I. Does that have any impact here? That's just okay. So you guys didn't do the job to measure what we asked 3 separate times. Now something's broken and you want us to tell you how it's going to be fixed when we are all out hundreds of thousands of dollars because your department did not do its job multiple times in a row. So you could say it's not their fault, but then it's your fault. And then I'm going to have to send you a letter from my lawyer.
I'm going to object.
Okay, hold on one second.
It's not relevant to today's proceeding.
Hold on. Mark, I understand it. It's an issue and you had to vet it a little bit. So you vet it and I understand that. What are you gonna do to take care of the issues?
It's
Can you tell us
fixed
that?
as of today from my side, but that doesn't necessarily support the other 2 members that you'll be speaking to next who are still battling the demons that came on our street.
So the repairs to the property have been completed, sir.
Today.
Okay.
Yes.
So did you obtain an engineer's report for the repairs?
Who's going to pay for it? We have 7 engineer reports. Which one do you want? I'm out thousands of dollars on engineers. What engineer report do you want this time?
I didn't ask for one, sir. What I'm saying is, do you have a report stating the property is structurally stable?
I sent that to you on October 31st and then emailed you and called you and texted you and called the main line 10 different times and you never answered.
I'm going to ask you if you could send that to me today.
I would love to. I sent you the report forever ago. That's what I'm so confused about. What do you want? Do you want the email chain with the 10 emails and I'll send you screenshots of all the texts and the calls that I made to you? Do you not answer your phone?
I think what he's saying is
Okay,
send
Mark,
him the report.
Mark, can you send him the report? I'm giving you, I understand your frustration. I'm giving you as much leeway to vet, and I understand. I'd be pissed off too. Okay, so, but could you send that report in today?
I'd be more than happy to. Should I send it to Thomas or someone else? Because I've never heard back from him.
I want you to send it directly to Tommy.
Okay, I'll do that right after this.
Tom, you got that?
Absolutely.
Can I please get a confirmation email back from you that you received it? That would be much appreciated.
Absolutely. Send me the report, and if that report is notated that the repair work is done and the property is structurally stable, then I'll communicate that back to you.
The original report shows that the structure is stable. So you need another report showing that repair is done?
Does the report illustrate that repair work is required? Because if repair work was required, then the unsafe case could be complied or the unsafe violation could be marked complied, but the other violation would still stand, just like in the neighboring property.
Well, it's the one I sent you from 4 days after it happened says it's safe, but repair is needed and the repair is done. So do I need to pay another engineer $2,500 to come look at it and say, yeah, they fixed that? It was
Yeah.
caulking on Mason.
Yes.
Does L&I inspect that, or do I need to pay another $2,500 for someone to come check a box?
So if the repair work, depending upon the amount of repair work that was required, then we would ask for the engineer to sign off that the property is structurally stable. Depends on the report. Send me the report. I'll be happy to review it and send it back to you.
Yeah, my wife is here.
Sorry. Hi. The original engineer report said our property was stable at the time.
Excuse me, ma'am, if you're gonna testify, we need you to identify
need to
yourself
swear
and be
you in.
sworn in.
I'm sorry. Hi, my name is Julia Gambita, and I swear I'm telling the truth.
You sure? I'll just let me do that thing for 1 second. Please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I swear.
Okay, could you state your name?
Julia Gambita.
Okay, go ahead, Julia.
Hi, nice to meet you all. So I just wanted to add an additional point, which is that the original engineering report said that it was a safe structure at the time. The damage occurred to a superficial wall that had no, like, it was like a wall that was basically put on top of our deck. It had nothing to do with the structure. So do we still have to pay $2,000? That wall's been removed. We didn't have to replace it because wasn't necessary to even be there. Do we still need an engineer to come out and spend that money when the original one said our structure was safe to begin with? That's what I'm trying to ascertain.
So without seeing it, I would have to say, I would look at the report, review the report, and then what we were asking for, either myself or Inspector DiSabato would come out and verify that the change has happened.
Okay, and then once we send it to you today, you I know it's a long weekend, you get back to us confirming that you read the report and that it was already made safe. Could you just let us know at that time if we need a new engineer report or not?
Yes, send it to me today. I will review the report and I will send back a reply no later than Tuesday.
Yeah, and I will point out that it says, based on my observations, there are no current or existing foundational deficiencies. So that's where, you know, from email 1 to 10 and all
That's but the violation illustrated the exterior walls, not just the foundation.
It's a structure. I think it's a structure. Existing structure.
Yeah, but isn't there a make safe still on the house from structural compromise?
Yes.
That had been removed. Okay, so the first letter does count for that or doesn't?
Hold on. Let me make sure.
Please. I don't like going on Atlas and my house shows up for this, you know?
Yes, the 3 violations are still current in L&I system. So if you send me that report, like I said, I will review it and I will get back to you no later than Tuesday.
Okay, Mark. Thank you. Mark, make sure you have the right email. Tom, could you tell Mark what's your email?
Thomas.Rybakowski, RYBAKOWSKI @phila.gov.
Okay, yeah, I was able to find your federal profile online, so that's where I got it from the first time. Thank you for confirming.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, what else do we need on this, Tom? Just to have that sent to you, you'll take a look at it?
Yes.
And if it's deemed everything's done?
I'm asking for the required repairs or at least a permit to be under review within the next 90 days.
Okay.
Do you want pictures of the repairs? Would that be helpful?
Yes. Anything that you find pertinent, please add it to the email and we'll get it resolved for you.
Okay. Can I just ask, what were the repairs?
So there was a bridge wall that connected all 3 houses. It was basically there to stand in place of a fence. It's from the 50s. So they just put up a little wall and that basically split. So we just took it down and we put up a wooden fence and then it created a small masonry crack. So we sealed it with masonry cement.
So Tom, did that require a permit?
Depends on the amount of repair. If it was just repair work, then no, but under the terms of a make safe permit, it depends on the requirement or the report. That's why I need to take a look at the report in depth and then make the assertion from that.
Okay, so it sounds like a rear block wall was taken down and a wood fence was put up.
Mhm.
Which would I would tend to say it's non-structural.
Aim, I didn't hear the last word you said.
I would veer to say it's non-structural.
It's not.
Okay. All right. All right, we'll get that done and we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Mark.
Excuse me, this is Hillary. Just a question. Should we then continue this so that we know what the status is of the violations? Because I don't feel like the board can really make a decision without Mr. Remenkowski reviewing the report and updating us on the status of the violations based on that.
Okay.
Okay, Tom?
That makes sense.
Yeah, Tom, if everything's good, then nobody has to come back here? Okay,
If the board's saying continue the case, then we would come back at that date and read it into the record on what the.
okay, the appellants wouldn't have to come back if everything's good, right?
If the case was complied, if they want to attend the hearing, then
Okay.
by all means, but other than
Okay.
that,
Okay, fine, all right, okay. So we'll move on to the next house?
the next house is, the next property is 1226 South 7th Street, and that's
Right.
pretty much in the same category.
Tom, wasn't it said there on 1226, it was complied?
It was complied. I'm Monique Kai from 1226.
Oh. Are you gonna be testifying?
I am.
Okay, could you please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, and state your name?
I do. Monique Screnchi. It's my
Okay.
family house at 1226. My parents, Marcy and Ray Garcia.
Okay, okay. Tom,
So in
okay, keep
LNI's
going, Tom, fill us in, I'm sorry.
No, so in LNI's database for 1226 South 7th Street, the property has been declared as unsafe, or it was declared as unsafe. There was a report provided to the department as far as in October that the structural issue or the unsafe case was that the property was structurally stable and that it was not unsafe, but there was still work on the exterior wall that needed to be done. In communications, we asked that the repair work be done and communication with the area inspector. So basically, it would be the same ruling with repair work that needs to be done, and then an inspection by Inspector D. Sabato. So we would be asking for the same ruling.
I'd like to jump in on that.
1224.
Tom, I'd like to jump in on that so it's not the same ruling. A couple different things. One, ours was never inspected by D. Sabato when the initial LNI violation was issued because we were away. We were actually at my sister's wedding. And then once, and Tom and I have talked about this multiple times, as soon as I returned home to have to empty my parents' family house immediately after my sister's wedding, I paid $1,600 for a very good engineer to inspect the house. And I also had another LNI inspector come out, and both deemed it to be completely structurally safe, never unsound. So that violation should have never been issued in the first place. And I'd like it removed completely from the record, not just as complied, because it's affected our property value. And yes, we are doing minor repairs to the masonry wall as soon as the insurance money comes through from the contractor who caused the damage. And we'll keep up with you guys with that. We've already had estimates. We have paperwork for that, but it was the situation, and I would not feel comfortable with Inspector Sabato coming out. I'd rather have Tom come out to inspect once the masonry is repaired, because again, I've had issues with that. So I prefer someone else, a different inspector came out.
So we do have the violation open for the exterior wall. The other violations have been marked complied. As far as having it removed completely, we do not remove the cases. They will show up as a closed case on the city's Atlas system. The way to remove that would be you'd have to contact 311 and they would put you in contact with the representatives from Atlas, but we would not, it would show up in our system as a history. It wouldn't show up as an active case on the properties.
So I just call 311 and they connect me with Atlas to remove it?
Yes, so I'm not sure. I'm not a computer programmer, so I'm not sure on having that data removed from that system. But as far as L&I, we have a record of the progression or what was done to the properties. So the case would still be there. It would be marked as complied. It would be marked, actually in Atlas, it would show closed. It wouldn't even show that it was active. It would show closed.
And right now, Tom, when I had checked Atlas last, ours was marked complied for the unsafe and we were just still open for the masonry repair. Is that
Correct.
still correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Can I just to understand, are we just talking about a rear garden wall still?
It is just a rear, it's some minor masonry cracks that don't need a lot of repair on the back wall. And then that shared wall, the garden wall with 1224, that was the larger crack from the damage to the 704 property or 706, Amy's house. Yeah, so it was a nightmare because they couldn't get into the yard. We were away, they couldn't get into our house. So DeSabato issued a violation against us without ever actually going in the 1226 property. And he issued violations to Mark and Julia and also to Amy, but not to the contractor. So then we had to have L&I come back out and inspect the construction site again, and then they finally got a violation. But
We
we've been,
wouldn't, so my unit is responsible for the structural issue of structures. So
Okay.
we wouldn't issue the violation to the contractor.
okay,
My unit is not there to issue cause and effect. We're there basically for the effect. The effect is the properties were damaged and they need to be repaired.
okay. So we just need to have the mason repaired and you inspect it, and then we're cleared for everything and we don't have to have anxiety anymore.
So Ms. Garcia, I'm going to say the same thing. Just send me an email when you have the repair and let me know.
Yeah, no, you were great with I got in touch with you a few times and you were very helpful and I appreciate it. All right. All right. Is there anything else you guys need from me?
Tom, we good?
I'm good.
Okay, we're good.
Tom, sorry, I just had a question. So is this a case, are you saying that make safe permit still needs to be pulled for the repairs, or are you just need to be advised that the repairs are done?
No, because the unsafe violation has been complied, so it does not require a make safe permit.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Good. All right. Next home, 704 Latona Street. And that's Amy.
Hello,
Hi,
thank
Amy.
you for letting us speak our case. My situation is considerably different than my neighbors because my house has experienced the brunt of the damage due to the excavation. So at the moment, I'm hoping that their insurance will pay my claim because the cost is about $371,000 for the repairs.
Wait a second. 371,000?
Well, the damage is more than just my front wall. I'm going to have to underpin the structures or the foundation in the corner and also in the front of the house because it's messed up because they dug, my latest engineer's report said that they dug about 14 feet down. And my house is a Trinity, so it's 3 stories, so it's gone like this. So I'm basically just need time to get the money.
I can understand that.
So have they fully built next to you now at this point?
They're actually in process of building the houses or the condos next to me, so they have about 3 stories built.
Okay, so they dug down next to your wall too deep, and then they poured a new foundation wall there?
Yeah, and then those foundations actually sat there for almost a year because they poured them in about the fall of last year. They started digging in April of last year.
Okay.
And then they poured the foundations in October-ish, and then they sat all winter, and now they're building the wood framing.
Tom, what does Amy have to do?
She would be required to get a make safe permit for the structural repairs to the property.
Okay. And this is to get the make safe permit to do the work there. She would have to pay all this money out? The 300, huh?
Not for the
Yes.
permit, but for the.
For the work that needs, not for the permit, but for.
No, but for the work it has to be done?
If that's the cost of the repairs, yes.
What are the other repairs? Because underpinning alone should be more than 10 to 15,000.
Well, I hired a lawyer in, I think it was April, and they sent an engineer and an estimator out. And the engineer said that, so it's not just my front wall that's affected, it's also my back corner and the foundation. And so basically he said that they would have to take down the side foundation wall and the front wall of the first floor while supporting the second and third floors, and then rebuild them and then underpin the front foundation wall, and then also completely tear down the front facade, and then there's also cracks in my chimney now. And then my entire back patio is a mess because it's basically everything's sunk, so everything's cracked. But he said that basically the cost of that would be prohibitive, and basically their recommendation is to kind of raise the house and rebuild. So the estimate, the 371,000 is the estimate to do those, to raise and rebuild.
That you would need plans for.
Yeah.
During construction, does anybody come out and look at this?
For the contractor at 706 to 704?
Yeah, and for all three of these houses, did anybody come out to look at that while they were doing the construction?
And if I can input on here, and Amy has a lot more records than I do, the problem was they were supposed to have a licensed engineer on site while they were digging next to the adjoining properties. And when Mark and Julia and I contacted the engineer, that's name was on the permits, he said he had not been out since April. So they had excavated next to Amy's house and almost under her house with no supervision of a licensed engineer, and then left it in the rain to basically form a giant mud pile. And that's when most of the damage occurred to Amy's house. She called and filed multiple complaints to no avail. And then finally in October, when LNI issued the initial unsafe against all three of our homes, I had contacted multiple people in the city because the licensed engineer they sent out to supervise the backfill to protect her house was a recent graduate who didn't actually have a license.
He was 19.
Yeah. And so we had them stop it until a real engineer can look at it. And now they're finally building their $1 million homes while we're still fighting this.
I just want to add to the excavation, like Amy said, took place in April. She said the foundation was laid in October. So basically there was a 20-foot hole up against her house through all the summer rains and hurricane season, which basically created a mudslide. She called LNI multiple times to have them come out to put a stop to the excavation, and they didn't. And basically what we did is we filed a FOIA and a Pennsylvania right to know to get those LNI reports, because there were LNI staff on site that said that the hole was never dug deeper than 9 feet next to our homes. When it was, we have pictures of grown men in the holes and it looks like 20 feet, and we have engineers saying, yeah, with a backhoe. So this is kind of where our frustration also comes from. But is there any way that we can obtain those reports? Because LNI keeps saying that they're unable to have them. We can't go after the builder unless we have those reports.
So you filed a right to know?
Yes.
Okay. You filed that with the right to know officer?
We did.
Yeah, they created a limited partnership, did capital partnership fundraising, also created an LLC, funded it, used it to buy an investment property, created 10 more LLCs, one for each of the individual units. As a financial advisor, I know a lot about this stuff. And Mr. Chairman, this is where our frustration comes from because
I
we
understand.
called the city so many times that I've spent 200 hours probably of my time on this. And even before all this damage occurred, we raised red flags for 6 months. And then the city came out and said, oh my God, you've got a crack in your backyard. We know, we're aware of this. We needed your help. And we have not been protected at all by the city, that the government that's supposed to help the citizens. The builder is allowed to build $25 million of houses next to us. And meanwhile, engineers have stolen my money. Lawyers have stolen my money. Those builders have stolen my money. And we didn't do anything. Our house under First Amendment rights has been damaged. We have multiple quotes from the Philadelphia Building Code where you cannot dig within 3 feet. And if you do, it must be proved with shoring, step by step down. And we have pictures of all of this. And everyone looks at it and goes, oh, that's too bad that happened. Where's your 90-day make safe permit? What about the protection for the citizens? Literally, I'm so confused.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, buddy. I agree. I do. It's a disgrace. And the thing is that I don't know what to say to you. I understand what you're going through, and I think it's a disgrace.
I agree.
What's happening? I think it's a disgrace with these LLCs. Okay, because when they go, there's nothing. It's on you. Okay.
Exactly.
And someone's falling down and doing their job. Okay. The thing is, then things are supposed to be inspected while they're going up. And then you have to suffer with this. I don't have the power to do anything. If I had the power to do something, you could damn well believe I'd do something, because I think this is a disgrace for people that don't have, that these people take advantage of this. And it's a disgrace. And the thing is, it's never going to stop until the city and people having the authority put a stop to these people. And I know probably because you say something, they want to throw a slap suit against you, huh? Is that another thing they're trying to do to you? So, Tom, whatever they have to do, or whatever you have to do for these people, please do it. Because someone has to stop this stuff. It's a pandemic in this city. And these poor people are going through hell. I know that ain't my position up here to do that, but I'd like to say that. I'm sorry for what happened to you. I have no control over this board, has no control over that. And I'm sure Tom doesn't have any control over this. It goes deeper than all that stuff. And the thing is whatever needs to be done for these people, Tom, I hope we can do it. And no petty stuff from this and things like that. Whatever has to be done, please help them.
Hey, I will do my due diligence in assisting as directed and as code requires me to. But that's why at the beginning of this, I asked if there was litigation that was pending. I am not able to give legal advice, but
I know
it's
definitely
a bigger story.
It's a bigger story, and whatever compassion we can take care of to helping this and speeding things and take care of the damages or whatever has to be done. Let's make it. Let's do whatever we can to help these people.
So are you continuing all 3 cases?
Yeah, we'll continue all 3 cases, and whenever you get the things taken care of, then we'll look at it. And if you go out there and everything's done, give them a clean bill of health. And the thing is, people have to stay on top of the people that did this to these people. The disgrace. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. It sickens me.
Thank you, because it really has been a nightmare, and most of all for Amy, because if it was stopped in April, her house wouldn't need to be rebuilt by now.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. You're right. You're right. And the thing is that I don't want to be on a bandwagon or on a soapbox, but I've seen this happen before. And People take their hard-earned money that they worked their whole life for and put it into something their home. And these people can come along and do this to people is an outrage. It is an outrage, and it has to stop, because what they do is they put up Hollywood construction and a week later it falls down. And they're LLCs and they walk away. This gotta stop. And Tom, whatever you gotta do to help these people, and if it has to be continued, we're given the okay to continue, whatever it is. Because if that was me, I'd be a raving maniac. And it's, and the city's gotta stop allowing this to go on. They gotta stop this. They gotta stop it.
No, it would help us.
Unfortunately, this started with design professionals not looking at it and realizing there needed to be underpinning. So therefore, nothing was submitted that required underpinning. And then the
Thing is
contractor.
that when these buildings are being built, from the excavation up, they have to be, there has to be a series of inspections on these things to
They
make
had
sure
a
they're
special
done
inspection
right.
noted who, it sounds like, wasn't present. There's a special inspector, geostructures noted on the permits, and it sounds like they were not present, and they should, action should probably be taken against them.
And we do have in writing from that engineer that his last visit was one day in April, and then he said he was not called back, and that's why he was not present.
But the LNI inspectors were, they did go back multiple times throughout the summer.
I mean, for the engineering, Julia, to have a licensed engineer on site.
And we have this all in documentation, and that's
Yeah.
where, first, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to thank you, because you are really literally one of the first people to say sorry. This isn't your fault. Everyone else has been putting the gun and the pressure on us when we've tried to do our highest level of diligence. We filed the complaints with the EPA to try to just get them to stop. Like, I was like, you know what, I'm going to try it, because these people are just going all over destroying our properties and no one's helping us. So we tried to go in that direction out of everything we could. And, I'm literally looking at an email that says I wasn't there. They did this completely without me from the engineer. But what my final request, outside of thanking you for standing up for us and for actually saying you're sorry to hear about it, would be for LNI and Mr. Rubikowski to deliver the reports that confirm that a licensed engineer was on file and that the measurement was 9 feet and not multiple feet past, like the pictures and measurements that we have from Amy's backyard. It almost seems like they're hiding behind these reports.
Okay, and under the right to know act, can they, will they receive them reports?
It has to be filed with our right to know officer.
LNI does not get the special inspections reports. They're not required to give them to LNI.
We submitted 7 different right to knows on all the different 706 Latona, MCP Latona LLC, on Maxwell Bassman Capital. We submitted on all of them. We got denied every single time, over and over. We said, like, what's related to this house property? They said nothing. We don't know.
The thing is, under the right to know act,
Tell
let
you,
me
I
finish for a
can't give
second.
you legal advice. But
No, I'm not giving legal advice, but under the right to know act, when you file that, then the people would get these reports. And that can LNI deny them the reports?
I don't know.
Okay.
I promise you, Mr. Chairman, we have tried every single Pennsylvania and Philadelphia FOIA to obtain these, and they've been completely hidden from us under the guise that they operated as a $0 company with their various shell structures over the past years, and therefore they're not required to file them. I'm not quite sure how that can be happen, but I would imagine that, under an agreement, we can send our documents to Mr. Rubikowski, and maybe he can deliver the reports that they have. I think it would be a plenty fair trade.
Excuse me, Mr. Gambita. So it sounds like you've been requesting records related to the LLCs as opposed to the reports by LNI.
Oh, we got those 2. We got them all.
Okay.
They denied us every time. I have an email
Okay.
with Squeala connecting us to the lead of LNI, and he just went silent, said he's not going to help. I mean, what else?
Okay, Tom, here's the thing. Tom, let's get everything up. It's the damages. If you have to go out and have it inspected, get it done. give these people a clean bill of health, if they have everything that says it, and, then I hope you have, whatever you're doing is, you're asking for everything that you think you're entitled to, and I hope you get it. And
Hillary, you were about to make a comment. Can you just say what you were going to say there?
No, well, I just wanted to make sure because it sounded like he was asking for the records of the LLC, which the city wouldn't have. But I just want to make sure he was applying through the city's right to know process for city records, because that would be different than it sounds like what he was doing. But it sounds like that he did do that.
I'm happy to resubmit, but we have email chains with the city and with Council Member Squila connecting us directly to LNI and them saying they can't. I mean, I don't know what, I'm a normal person. I don't know how, I don't know if I have to go to City Hall and try to find one of your offices, or if I just stand on a Zoom, or if I just submit 4,200 documents online. I don't know, but I'll try it if you give me some direction. They keep denying us over and over, and that's what it comes down
I'll
to.
give you some direction. Why don't you go to your council person, Mark Squilla?
He couldn't help us.
To him in person?
Yeah, he came to my house. I got him Iskros. It was really nice. We had coffee and pastries.
I was gonna say there. So I know in the law department there is a right to know unit that handles requests. There's also right to know officers in the different departments. So I would say just make sure that you are connected with the right person for the right department.
Can I ask you a question, Hillary? Can I ask you a question? Okay. How about if they deny these people the information they're asking for, and they tell them, no, it's sensitive, we can't give it to you? Is there an appeal process?
Yes, there is. You can appeal to the state open records office.
Okay.
So just to be clear, we would resubmit to the state open record office for the initial FOIA for LNI's records in regards to the property deemed 706 Latona.
No, you would be appealing the denial of the records from the city for that property. It's an appeal. It's an appeal process. It's not a new request. It's an appeal of the decision of the city to the right to know request.
But since we've been requesting it for almost a year, just because they're going to sell these houses in the next 6 months, they're going to dissolve the LLCs, and I'm afraid it's going to take another year to get these records. So is there any way to if it is going in person and that's the recommendation, we'll gladly do that. We would like to get this expedited because like you said, I mean, it's been 10 months since this happened, and this is the first time we're meeting with everyone in person.
I don't know about, I don't know about the expedited review, but I know that the state right to know law governs the response times, and it's something like 30 to 60 days if there's an extension. So there's specific timeframes the city is required to respond to requests.
Is there a warranty on these homes for the people to go after? Is there a warranty, Hillary, on these homes?
On which homes?
On these 3 homes we're talking about right here. Do they have?
I don't know. I don't know when they were built and what. Yeah, they would have to. Yeah, they would have to consult, a lawyer on that. I don't know if there would be any sort of implied or any other warranty on those homes. If they were built a while ago, I kind of doubt it.
We have been in this home, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
We have been in this home since my wife was born and her mother's house. So we've been here quite a while. So warranty, no. Insurance, yes. It would be nice if somehow your group, your people could get together and put pressure on the insurance company to approve the damages that were done to our homes and have them pay, because the contractor is responsible for all this damage.
Unfortunately, sir. And
Yes.
I'll say that's for the board. The board does not have jurisdiction over that.
I understand that.
I wish they
I'm
did.
just saying,
Because it's an administrative board. unfortunately, the board doesn't have jurisdiction to render that decision. That's why it's an insurance company, and again, I apologize, but I can't give you legal advice, but I would certainly be making a phone call.
That would be appreciated. Thank you.
That wasn't me making a phone call. Meaning that you would probably need to make a phone call to an attorney.
Fine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Tom, whatever, we'll continue this case. Do whatever you can to help these people.
So all three cases will be
All three
continued.
appellants have my email. By all means, reach out.
Thank you.
Please, and again, I want to know what happened with this case, as we get down the line. You know, it's just, we're sorry that this happened to you. And I know everything that you're saying is truthful. I know it. I know it better than anybody. I know it. What you're saying is truthful. And the thing is that it just has to stop, and it has to start with L&I, and they have to do what they have to do. But they whether they don't have enough people or this or whatever, they have to do something. They have to come out and help people, because these parasites, these people that prey on people when they build these homes. And if these people, if you have to say something or get angry, then they throw slap suits against you. They do everything to beat you down and to scare you. Just stay up, just stay strong. I feel terrible for you. And I know everybody else on this board does, because I know what you're going through. So, Tom, keep me abreast of what's going on here, because something's got to be done. Something's got to be done. So, continue the cases, and anybody else have anything else to say? I guess they don't want to say anything. They think I'll keep shooting off, but I just feel terrible for you. I do.
You, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.